Good evening. Topping night casts a possible link between murder and music.
Music performed by a rock group right here in the Bay Area.
4 members of a Midwestern family were murdered. The 16-year-old son is the prime suspect. Members of the experimental rock group Negativland have been drawn into the case, and prosecutors won't even tell them for certain that their music, how their music might be involved. Hal Eisner has our report.
It was the kind of murder case that friends and neighbors said didn't make sense. They didn't understand how an A student from a good family could murder his brother, sister, and parents with an axe.
He was not a homicidal maniac. He did not show any signs of wanting to hurt anyone.
David Brom was accused in the multiple axe slayings, but now, almost 3 months later, many are still wondering why. One explanation may involve a Bay Area music group called Negativland. Negativland's music is highly critical of the mass media, nuclear war, and handguns. The group thinks their music is humorous, but they don't find it a bit funny that one of their songs poking fun at religion may have sparked a dispute among the Broms, triggering the murders. They say federal authorities asked them to cancel a long-planned 17-city tour and eliminate live performances until the conclusion of the investigation. The probe apparently involved their song, Christianity is Stupid.
Christianity is stupid.
It's hard to listen to the cut and not laugh. If you have any sense of humor at all, or whatever, it's hard not to see the humor in it, and that it would result in anything as serious as this, I think is ridiculous.
This isn't the first time controversial music has been linked to tragedy. Charles Manson said his murder spree was influenced by the Beatles' Helter Skelter. It's believed Night Stalker suspect Richard Ramirez was influenced by AC/DC's Highway to Hell album. An Ozzy Osbourne song, Suicide Solution, became the focal point of an actual suicide case involving a Southern California teenager.
What you can say is that music is a bystander, involved to a certain degree, but most unlikely that it generated the mayhem. If it did, there'd be a lot more mayhem around.
Meanwhile, the members of Negativland are hoping for a speedy conclusion to the Brom case in Minnesota and eventually a return to their live performances and a career that after 9 years had finally taken some positive turns. But a quick end to the bizarre murder case may be in doubt. A Minnesota judge has ruled that David Brom will face trial as a juvenile. The prosecutor wants Brom tried as an adult, and he's appealing. I'm Hal Eisner, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
It'll be several months before the court decides whether to try David Brom as a juvenile or an adult. The date for his murder trial can't be set until that decision is made. That means it's also not clear how long the band will be restricted from performing.
How do you feel about television?
It's going to make me famous one day.
Why do you think that? Why do you think television's going to make you famous?
Because the media is exploitive. It takes an issue, it can blow it out of proportion, or it can take a serious issue and make nothing out of it. You got to know how to exploit the media.
You're right. Thank you.
I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. I'm trying to make some girl. Shock it to me, baby. Let's spend the night together, making love, light my fire, give me what you got. Louder and faster, louder and faster. Tonight. Louder and faster, louder and faster. Tonight. Louder and faster, louder and faster. Yeah. Louder and faster, louder and faster.
148, Gromley.
Too late. Till it was too late.
Get over!
It's a week of psychopaths, murderers, werewolves, murdering, marauding maniacs. This marvelous week of murder begins when you're dead. A malicious tale about a maniac with a deadly eye for murder. All this begins Monday on Channel 7's 3:30 movie.
This is KPIX Eyewitness News Nightcast.
Good evening. Topping Nightcast, a possible link between murder and music.
Music performed by a rock group right here in the Bay Area.
4 members of a Midwestern family were murdered. The 16-year-old son is the prime suspect. Members of the experimental rock group Negativland have been drawn into the case, and prosecutors won't even tell them for certain that their music, how their music might be involved. Hal Eisner has our report.
Continue this. Feel your brain.
Negativland considers its music thought-provoking, even humorous. But the members of this East Bay musical group aren't a bit amused that one of their songs may be linked to a multiple murder case. The case involves 16-year-old David Brom, an A student from a very religious family. He's accused of killing his brother, sister, and parents with an axe. Attorneys say David and his parents frequently argued about religion and music, even on the night of the murders, when a Negativland album may have sparked the last family dispute. And in particular, the song Christianity is Stupid may also have been involved.
Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid.
It's hard to listen to the cut and not laugh. If you have any sense of humor at all, or whatever, it's hard not to see the humor in it, and that it would result in anything as serious as this, I think, is ridiculous.
They say federal authorities asked them to cancel a long-planned 17-city tour and eliminate live performances until the conclusion of the investigation. Negativland's music is highly critical of the mass media, nuclear war, and handguns. The group thinks their music is humorous, but they don't find it a bit funny that one of their songs poking fun at religion may have sparked a dispute among the Broms, triggering the murders.
Christianity is stupid.
Meanwhile, the members of Negativland are hoping for a speedy conclusion to the Brom case in Minnesota and eventually a return to their live performances and a career that after 9 years had finally taken some positive turns.
But a quick end to the bizarre murder case may be in doubt. Hal Eisner, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Nightcast.
Kate?
The trailside killer David Carpenter has now been convicted of 7 murders.
Maker calling from Rolling Stone magazine. Can I speak to someone in Negativland?
Now!
Can you comment on the connection that was made between your music and the axe murders last month in Rochester, Minnesota?
Now it begins!
Can you tell me, off the record, is there any backwards masking on the song Christianity is Stupid?
Snake into one! No!
That, and then when we went to sleep at night, in our dreams we would hear Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Communism is good. Communism is good. Give up, give up, give up.
I can't get no satisfaction.
You need sex, so we provided the girls.
Sock it to me, baby. 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 Give me what you got.
And when it comes to killing you, 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 they like to use every means in the book.
It was the kind of murder case that friends and neighbors said didn't make sense. They didn't understand.
What am I saying?
They didn't understand.
What am I saying?
They didn't understand.
What am I saying?
They didn't understand. Christianity is stupid.
Give up.
is not the case.
Journalism or sensationalism?
A malicious tale about a maniac.
Murder and music.
You give enough looking.
Murder and
Journalism
music.
or sensationalism?
Enough typewriters.
Murder and
Journalism or
music.
sensationalism?
And enough time.
Murder and music.
Journalism or sensationalism?
And one of them will eventually come up with a King James version of the Bible.
Murder and music.
Journalism or sensationalism?
Your Bible.
We don't have enough data.
Your Bible.
We don't have enough data. We don't have enough data.
Your Bible.
Data. We don't have enough data. We just don't have enough data.
It's monkey business.
And that's why I'm saying...
Even a monkey could produce the King James version of the Bible.
Data. Data. Data.
Too much data.
He was not a homicidal maniac. He did not show any
Have mercy upon me, O Lord,
signs of wanting to hurt anyone.
for I am in trouble.
The crime is somehow related to a record by a Bay Area band. Al Eisner has that story.
Mine eye is consumed with grief.
Many are still wondering why.
Yea, my soul, my being.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Why me, Lord?
You're overreacting.
My strength faileth because of mine iniquity,
You're overreacting.
and my bones are consumed.
Don't find excuses for it. The easiest thing to do is do what he did.
Why me, Lord?
Apologize.
I was forgotten, as a dead man out of mind.
He apologized.
I am like a broken vessel.
But that's America.
Why me, Lord?
I'm considered a creep. And you're overreacting.
O wretched man that I am,
A creep.
who shall deliver me from the body of this death?
The creep.
What?
I'm gonna have to cut it out, but we're overreacting. We'll be back after these messages.
KTVU for Thursday, October 30th, stereo version.
Al's House of Meat, 2222 on the sirloin strip.
Fine. We're gonna play that back now.
Did you hear that?
What?
Something on that tape when it ran backwards.
What are you talking about?
Run it down again. Now play it, backwards.
That child is the child of evil.
I don't believe it.
You never sounded so good.
I'm serious. Play this backwards and you hear evil messages. Play the rest.
We're gonna play that one back.
There it is again.
Don't start.
I mean it. Play it backwards.
Last night he murdered his parents. Tonight his targets are his aunt and uncle.
Doesn't it bother you that evil messages creep into our commercials when you play them backwards?
Stranger things have happened.
Play the rest.
Little Damien is all grown up. Too bad for the cause of good.
You're not going to play the rest?
Look, I rent this studio by the hour.
What is it trying to tell us?
Death wish 2, 2, wish death, 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 death wish 2, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent.
Look at that listing of sins in Galatians 5, verses 19 to 21, 17 of them.
If you have 26 Americans to kill,
S-I-M,
and you've already killed 17 Americans,
P-L-O-T, P-L-O-T.
how many Americans does that leave for you to kill?
Simplot.
Shock it to me, baby.
S-I-M.
Why are the children
P-L-O-T.
doing what they're doing?
S-I-M.
Why are the children
P-L-O-T.
doing what they're doing?
Murder and music.
Simplot.
Murder and music. Murder and music.
Simplot. Simplot. Simplot.
Shock it to me, baby.
This isn't the first time. 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 This isn't the first time controversial music has been linked to tragedy.
And it's all right for them to slap our face.
It's monkey business.
You're overreacting.
And it's all right for them to slap our face.
Why are the children doing what they're doing? Why does a child reach up and kill his mom and dad and murder his two little sisters and then cut his throat? You know, why would a child do something like that? None it is what it does to you. Dip it. Dip it. Dip it.
It is depressing when the whole family's picking on you know, whether it's because he did something wrong, but I think he was depressed and we do get hurt.
Dip it. Dip it.
I can't get no
Dip it.
satisfaction.
Now.
Helter's stupid.
Dip it.
I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to like, and probably the world ain't going to like, but I'll tell it to you just like it is. If I wanted to, had it been me up in this Sharon Tate's house, it would have been a lot worse. Thank God that your children did it for you, and I didn't get started on it, because if I'd have got started on it, it would have been a lot worse than it was, because I am 10 times worse.
It's believed Night Stalker suspect Richard Ramirez was influenced by AC/DC's Highway to Stupid album. And Ozzy Osbourne's song Stupid Solution became the focal point of an actual stupid case involving a Southern California teenager.
Stupid. Our opposition, whoever they may be, in all their manifest forms, don't know how to handle humor, you know, and we are humorists, and we stand a better chance under that guise, because all the serious people like Martin Luther King and Kennedy and Gandhi got shot.
Now listen to this.
It was the kind of murder song that friends and neighbors said didn't make sense.
No one, no matter where he lives or what he does, can be certain who next will suffer from some senseless act of bloodshed.
But that's America.
And yet it goes on and on and on in this country of ours.
That's America.
Now, that second one is really Robert Kennedy, right? Wrong.
Hal Eisner.
Wrong.
Neither of these is the real voice of anyone, and we must never believe that it is.
Oh, but that was really Robert Kennedy.
Hal
They
Eisner.
are both electronic images of the real voice preserved on magnetic tape, just as we never see a dead body on television news. We must never believe that we do.
TVs are murdering people every 15 minutes. You see 2 or 3 people dying on TV.
Meanwhile, the members of Negativland are hoping for a speedy conclusion to the Brom song.
It's, like I said, it's really frightening, but at the same time, it's ridiculous.
And then you got guys now that got the controls, but they don't have the power. You put somebody with the power at the control, and you watch the old buggy rock.
But a quick end to the bizarre murder song may be in doubt.
And I'm not afraid of dying because I don't believe in it. I think it's just getting out of one car and getting into another.
Give up! Give up! You say the preacher? Christianity is stupid. Give up! Christianity is stupid. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Communism is good. Good, 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 good. Get our brains through here. Christianity is stupid. Communism is good. Communism is Christianity. Christianity is communism is good.
But they said there was something that got them more than the words of the song. Something that got them more than the words of the song. There was something that got them more than the words of the song. But they said there was something that got them more than the words of the song.
And every boy and girl feels to be a hero, they got to pull their clothes off.
And it was the beat.
Just words.
And it was the beat.
Just words.
The beat.
Get over.
And it was the beat.
Words.
The beat.
Just words. Words. Just words. Get over.
The beat. The beat. The beat. The beat. The beat. Pastor. Pastor. Louder. Pastor. 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 The beat.
The probe apparently involved their stupid song, Christianity Didn't Make Sense.
Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Okay. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. We're taking our microphone to different locations.
We don't have enough data.
To different places. Your job is to close your eyes, listen very carefully, and decide where we are and what is happening. Okay? 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 Okay?
Attorneys say David and his parents frequently argued about religion and music.
Okay, okay.
We don't have enough data.
Okay, okay.
Christianity is stupid.
Close your eyes.
Christianity is stupid.
Listen very carefully.
Christianity is stupid.
Close your eyes.
Christianity is stupid.
Okay, okay.
Helter stupid. Helter stupid.
Close your eyes.
Helter stupid.
Listen very carefully.
Christianity is triggering the murders.
Close your eyes.
Christianity is
Thought-provoking.
Listen very carefully.
Even humorous.
I think we don't accomplish anything by going on like this. This is the same thing you've been saying over and over again.
Well, we're going to listen to those sounds
We
again.
don't have enough data.
This time, I'm going to ask you to do something besides just listening. I would like for you and your friends to pretend you're actually in the places you hear. Make believe that you're doing something.
We don't have enough data.
And while you're pretending and having fun,
We don't have enough data.
Too much data.
please ask yourself this question.
And what will become of me? And what will become of me?
We don't have enough data.
Please ask yourself this question.
A photocopy of a diagrammatic analysis of a report.
Please ask yourself this question.
Someone's doing that.
Is God here? Is God here in this place doing this kind of thing?
Now listen to this.
Leona.
Who?
And I'm with Channel 5 News.
Well, I don't
I'm calling regarding the group,
Yeah?
and this article that I'm looking at
Yeah?
here
Okay,
in my
sure.
hand from...
Hey, why you guys got a name sound something like
I don't
Friday?
know if
That's
true
right.
or not.
Well, you're
And
being
I wanted
stood up.
to
Huh?
ACLU,
He said to
et
tell you
cetera,
not to
et cetera.
wait.
But we would need some kind of cooperation from you or members of your group in order to do the story. Bizarre story.
KPIX Eyewitness News Nightcast is next.
This isn't the first time someone has tried to blame a death on Hal Eisner. The Los Angeles couple claimed their son committed suicide while listening to an Hal Eisner story. The judge in that case ruled there was no proof that our report was responsible for the boy's death.
I'm Hal Eisner, journalism or sensationalism, and he's appealing.
Too much
We don't have
data.
enough data. We just don't have enough data. Data. We don't have enough data.
Too much data. Too much data. Too much data. Too much data. Too much data. That's one of my big problems today. That's one of my big problems today. Books, files, photographs. Books, files, photographs. Books, files, photographs. Newsreels by the million miles.
But I should think you'd be so glad to have all this material.
But how to use it, dear lady? But how to use it? But how to use it? How to use it?
And yet it goes on and on and on.
Now I know too much and find it hard to make out any patterns. Just clatter and babble and get the feel and move on before I get buried in videotape. This record you're listening to now is another one.
Helter stupid.
How do you go about getting an exorcism?
Christianity is stupid.
I can help that.
It's Richard Burton.
Oh, no.
He's a modest priest.
Pray. Have you tried praying?
Stupid.
And if you think going one-on-one with the Prince of Darkness is sticky, wait until you see the rest of the characters he has to contend with.
Now there's a bizarre connection to a Bay Area band.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
If you kill 8 or 10 people and you throw blood all over and you say, now you see what I'm saying? They say, oh, we see what you're saying. And they still don't see what you're saying.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, in 3 or 4 years, American life as we know it will be over.
Come on, man, it's a big act. Goddamn thing's a fucking act, man. What I said right then is a fucking act. Everything's an act. It's all an act. The only thing that's not an act, the only thing that makes reality is death. Then they hang it on a cross and kneel down and pray to it. That's the only reality they understand.
The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves.
That is correct.
Good night, and good luck.
Radio Konton, special bonus. Radio Konton, special bonus.
Wilderness. 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 He said wilderness. 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 He said the wilderness. Out of the wilderness. Out of the wilderness. Out of the wilderness. Out of the wilderness. Carve, he said, this nation. Carve 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 this nation. Out. Carve this nation. Out. Carve this nation. Out. Carve this nation. Out. Nation. Out. Bible, he said. The Bible. The Bible. Carved, he said. And the Bible. This Bible. Carve this out. Machine, he said. The machine. And the Bible. Submachine. Submachine gun. The Bible. And the submachine gun. Carve this nation. Brass knuckles. The submachine gun. And the Bible. Knives. Brass knuckles. And the submachine gun. Bayonets, knives, brass knuckles, and the submachine gun. Pistols, bayonets, knives, brass knuckles, and the submachine gun. Axe handles, pistols, bayonets, knives, brass knuckles, and the submachine gun. Shotguns, axe handles, pistols, bayonets, knives, brass knuckles, and the submachine gun. Carbine, shotguns, axe handles, pistols, bayonets, knives, brass knuckles, and the submachine gun. America, he said. America on a gun was built on a gun. America was built. The gun was built on a gun. It's good to see all of you there toting guns, he said. America was built on a gun. The gun and the Bible carved this nation out of the wilderness. Mayor Dukes, if you want our guns, come out and get them.
Elmer and Wilbur sitting on a slag heap, drinking and shooting a pistol at the little pools of fire winking at them in the darkness. Blam, blam, blam.
Your bullet can't see red. You are the eyes, the mind, and the will of every bullet you fire. Reason enough to take great care, and reason enough to remember again that liquor always comes later, after the guns are cleaned and racked. That's the time to relax with a drink, the only time.
This is the wild side life, ain't it, Wilgus? Wilgus just grinned and opened him another beer.
Radio Konton 90.5 FM.